How's it going, guys, and welcome back to Pete's Carport. I am excited because this 1967 Mercedes 200D has come so far in just about a week and a half, probably maybe a week of working on it, and I'm putting in maybe a few hours a day. And today we're going to test out some basically rust conversion and some rust prevention. I do have some other videos that I'm going to be putting out on other parts. Today we're going to be playing around with the RUSTOLEUM Rust Dissolver, and we're also going to be using the RUSTOLEUM Preventative Rust Primer. I'm going to go pick that up in a little bit. I want to show you where we're going to be tackling this. I had to charge the battery up after starting it a few times and not getting it to crank over, so I pulled that inside. I've already begun to start on this, but we're going to be replacing this panel. Obviously you can see this completely rusted out, but under there is a very solid panel that holds the battery in place, and it connects to the frame, and it just has surface rust. And, you know, obviously some other rust there. So we're going to test this product out. We're going to clean this whole area out, and then we're going to also dip this into another rust conversion that we got that's a liquid that's called Evapo-Rust. And we're going to test that out as a solution to drop pieces of parts and tools and stuff in. So stay tuned. It's going to be an awesome video. We're going to have great conclusions on these products. Here we go. Alright, so obviously the first step to anything that you're going to be doing paint or rust removal, rust conversion on, is to make sure the surface is very cleaned down. So you want to first remove any debris, you want to vacuum down the area, and then you want to start degreasing it. And I'm going to explain to you my method of doing this. You can use many different products. Simple Green in the concentrate form looks like this. I buy tons of this. It works absolutely amazing. I have another video that might have already come out where I've started to clean down the engine. You can see here, and I've used going to use the same tools that we were using on this side to clean this side, and that is some wire brushes. These are like heavy bristle brushes. I even picked up a toilet bowl scrubber. This was new. To clean down these areas and get into some of the tight areas. And then I also highly suggest you get a spray bottle so you can spray into the crevices with the Simple Green. So I'm going to pour some in here so it's lubricated onto the brushes, as well as be spraying this down. But first I'm going to vacuum all this out. I'll probably speed through the cleaning process. Once we get it all done, we're going to rinse it down with clean water and let that dry. And then we're going to be adding our rust dissolver. Now, this does say it works in 30 minutes. I'm going to put a link to this product as well because I found that it worked absolutely amazing, but I did let it sit overnight. So we're going to do the same thing here, and then we're going to paint over it with RUSTOLEUM primer that is designed to keep rust from coming back. And I'm going to show you guys that. I'm going to basically get all this cleaned out, get it all rinsed down, run to the store, and get the paint, and we're going to start the whole process. So hang Okay, so we got it all scrubbed down with the wire brush and got all inside the crevices, got all the loose rust off. We used the simple green like I showed before. But something cool I wanted to point out, I don't have a compressor with an air blowout tool, which works really well when you're doing stuff like this detailing. And I snagged my blower that I picked up at Harbor Freight out of the shed. This thing was like 30 bucks. I got it on sale. Obviously, every time you buy something from Harbor Freight, it should be on sale. But I'm going to show you real quick. I use it to blow out the dust, and now I'm going to use it to actually dry off the areas because there's a lot of water just built up where it can't drain. So let me just show you how awesome this works if you don't have an air compressor. So it looks pretty good, huh? So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this dried off, and then we're going to go ahead and spray on the RUSTOLEUM rust dissolver and let it sit, and then we'll come back tomorrow and we're going to go ahead and put the primer on. Okay guys, while that other part is finishing up drying, I blew off the best I could, and it still got some little bit of dampness to it. I went ahead and removed those pieces, the clips that I was talking about, as well as the ground wire, because the bolt was rusted up on that. And we're going to go ahead and use this Evapo-Rust, which is an awesome product because it's super safe. You know, it's non-toxic, and you can reuse it over and over again. And it's a solution that you drop nuts, bolts, tools, anything you can remove from the vehicle into. I'm going to leave it overnight, just like the spray-on rust remover. And we're going to come back to this. So let's get back to the car, and we're going to go ahead and spray it down with our RUSTOLEUM rust remover. Okay guys, so this stuff goes on really thick. It's really awesome stuff. I tested it out on some other parts in the car already and had awesome success. So I already know it's going to work really well. But one of the things I found is, instead of spraying this and just having it run and drip off onto the ground, grab yourself some of these sponge brushes, and I'm going to show you why. I'm not going to be able to record all of this because I'm going to have to get really into there and make sure I spread this out without holding onto the camera. But if you watch how this sprays, you're going to see it sprays out like a real thick gel. And so if you were to spray it like that and then grab one of your foam brushes, let me grab one, and take it, you could really spread it out. Now they also sell this in gallon form, which I'm going to buy, but I wanted to test it out first before spending the extra money on that. And we're going to basically use this to get all of the rust we can to basically dye on this car and then primer over it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off, and then we're going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to show you how everything turns real black and it becomes a paintable surface. So let's do that now, and I'll show you guys how that turns out. Alright guys, so it's day 2 on our rust transformation, and I decided to change up things a little bit first. I decided that the RUSTOLEUM rust reformer, I wasn't originally going to go with this, but it's going to allow me to put down a nice black coat on this entire engine bay, as well as give it the extra protection, because this does similar reactions, has a similar reaction to the rust as what we coated, the gel coating that we used from RUSTOLEUM in here, which came out phenomenal. The second thing I'm going to change up is, the whole goal was we're going to strip this car apart anyways, the panels, at least the front panels, and paint everything. But I decided I'm going to go ahead and do that now, instead of just trying to figure out what rust you know, stuff I was going to put on there and what color paint I was going to do and all that. I kind of broke it down and figured it out. So what I'm going to do, we're going to remove this front fender here, which is not that difficult, and then we're going to get the rust reformer that I just showed you all up in this side, up underneath the wheel well. I'm going to probably pull the car up, get the wheel taken out so that we can stop all the rust right where it's at, and then that'll allow me to start testing some paint on the fender. So I'm most likely going to go with a flat, similar looking color paint to what's on there. RUSTOLEUM makes a few different choices. I had picked up some high gloss, which is called antique white, which looks very similar to what's on there now. But I decided that I don't want to bring back the gloss. I like the flat look it almost has right now, but I want to get it looking as best as we can, sanding it down, removing the rust, getting everything smoothed out. So let's get started on that. I'm going to go ahead and start taking this fender off. and then we're going to spray the rust reformer down on the inside. Alright, so change of plan on taking the fenders off. I got a lot of the bolts off, but as I got down here, I realized at some point either somebody welded this as one piece or they manufactured it as one piece, and there's just a lot of areas that I'm not sure of, and I feel like I'm going to dig myself too deep right now, and I want to get this rust protection on. So what I'm probably going to do is definitely get inside here really nice. Now I'm going to rust protect all of this anyway, so I'm not really worried about the overspray. It's all going to be sanded down, painted. But I do want to make sure I get up under the wheel wells here, so I'll probably jack the car up, pull the tire off, and really get sprayed up under there really well. And any areas that I can see. So I'm going to get started on that now. And I've taped off everything that I feel like I need to tape off for the moment, and then get started on this Rust-Oleum reformer paint. So let's get started. Alright guys, so here it is, and I'm going to tell you, I couldn't be happier with the way this Rust-Oleum rust reformer paint goes on. It dries extremely fast. I was able to get into almost every crevice. The spray pattern was very easy to guide, so I wasn't overspraying and hitting a lot of things. I mean, you can see here, I just sprayed along this edge just to see how easy it was, and I was almost able to make a straight line. And also, without even jacking the car up, let me see if I can show any of this. I was able to almost get in every single crevice of this car in the wheel well, and that's the shock there, so that's going to need to be replaced. But yeah, it looked like it went on nice and heavy. I was able to really angle this can up in there, and it sprayed almost every angle and direction I went. So hats off to Rust-Oleum for making an awesome spray can. Now whether it works or not, we'll find out, but it looks like it's doing a great job. It says 24 hours before painting over to allow it to basically convert the rust. So with that said, I've already used the Rust-Oleum gel all inside up underneath this floor pan that we're putting in. And so once we get this in, first thing we're going to do is coat the entire thing, including the bare metal, with that Rust-Oleum reformer. And then we're probably going to be doing some sort of rubberized coating over that. And then we're going to put down some padding, and I'm going to be buying some stock carpet to lay down in here. So it's going to look really good in here when we're done. So that's the next thing up, is probably going to be welding this up, getting this put in, and showing you guys how that comes out. Well, once again, my name's Pete. Actually, you know what? I forgot. We need to show how the Evaporust worked. I threw a couple other items in here, and this is very, you know, it doesn't hurt your hands. It's biodegradable, and it's very safe on almost everything. So that is the oil cap. I'm going to have to clean that down, but it looks like it came out really good. Let's check out these other parts. I mean, wow. These were these nuts and stuff were pretty rusted on there. Let's check out. There was one bolt. This one here was extremely rusted, and look at that. So the nice thing is we're going to be able to take all of our nuts and bolts off the car, drop them in this Evaporust, which is reusable, and be able to put them back on the car and have really good looking nuts and bolts that we can easily take on and off. We've got those pieces, those clips that are holding in the wiring along here that are going to go back in, and so I'm excited about that. Engine's looking really good. There will be a full update on the engine cleaning and putting back together. I'm going to go down and get a probably just an aluminum tray to drop into where the battery goes, get the cables back on there, and make that look really nice. So once again, my name's Pete. This is Pete's Carport. I love that you guys are following along with this, commenting, filling in. Thanks to a couple subscribers out there. I've learned a few things and was able to fix a few things, and specifically on the cooling system. So thanks guys for chiming in. If you see anything else, please chime in. If you know any products out there, somebody told me about POR 15 that we did on the airbox over there. Evaporust, I just found videos online, and then this Rust-Oleum reformer, I figured I'd give it a go since I can get it here locally at Walmart, the auto parts stores, and so forth. So once again, I'm Pete. My opinion on the Rust-Oleum rust reformer and the spray gel is I'd give it a 9 out of 10 based on what I did today, and only a 9 because if rust comes through, obviously I won't know that into the future, so it could turn into a 10 out of 10. Have a great day, guys, and once again, Happy New Year's.